Well, good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to the Manitowoc Foodservice's Beverage Stadium. My name is Hansel, and I'm the corporate chef for Garland, Canada. Standing on my left is Dennis Pitchford. Dennis is the corporate chef for Lincoln, Mary Chef, and Mirko. And right here is Ryan Barlow. Ryan is one of the corporate chefs at Manitowoc Foodservice down in Tampa. Just letting you soak it all in. All right. So, welcome all. We're going to be here demonstrating these key pieces of equipment this afternoon. 20-minute presentation. So please get comfortable. Be prepared to be wowed. And we apologize in advance for any brain freezes that may occur. So, now one of the things we will be talking about is the current trends in the beverage industry and how Manitowoc Foodservice has stayed ahead of those trends and how they've become a leader in that industry.
Thanks, Hans.
You're welcome, Ryan.
You may be wondering what 3 accredited chefs are doing up here discussing beverage machine innovations. Well, as you know, chefs work hard and play even harder, and that may mean even indulging in the occasional beverage or two. But the beverage business as a whole has become an integral profit source for almost every arena of food service. We here on the beverage team have spent the greater part of 3 months developing the flavors, concoctions, and blends for the drinks that we're going to be sampling today. And that's what every customer of Manitowoc Foodservice can expect. Whether it's breakfast beverages, global flavors, or the booming kids drink market, it's no wonder that Manitowoc Foodservice is designing new equipment to meet this aggressively growing market. So, the beverage industry has changed a little bit. No longer do we have malted milks, root beer floats, and vanilla shakes.
Yep, and I'm sure every one of us has been at a coffee shop somewhere and you're at the back of the line, you're in a hurry, and the guy at the front is going, I'll have a tall, no whip, extra hot, extra foamy, dry, with caramel latte.
Exactly. This is where we are with beverages today, and trust me, it's not slowing down. The consumer demand for more customized drinks has grown over 30% in the last 3 years. Now, it's the retailer's challenge to keep up with this demand, but make it profitable all at the same time. So we're going to be showcasing and tasting some drinks from these different trends we were talking about.
Yep.
Now, good food service, let me rephrase that. Great food service establishments are utilizing the beverage segment to create a great profit center for their businesses.
Well, that's a lot of great information, guys, but after all that talk, I think our audience deserves a drink. So why don't we go ahead and get started, and what better place to begin than with our 2010 Kitchen Innovations Award-winning Multiplex Blend-in-Cup Workstation, affectionately known as the BIC. Now, this all-in-one unit has a small footprint, and as you can see, a built-in ice dispenser, which allows you to turn any operation into a beverage destination in no time flat. It has our Easy Touch screen, which is easy to read, easy to use, touch sensitive, driven by icons, and allows you to control your entire beverage making process, from instructions on how to build your drinks to managerial reports such as inventory levels, even tells you how to clean your unit with tutorials, stepping your staff through every step of the way to make sure your beverages are nice, clean, and machine is clean every single time. Now you'll notice we have a couple different units in front of you. The one to your left has 2 blenders. The one on the right has 1. And well, it also blends pretty quickly. So Chef Ryan's going to bring forward our first drink right now. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your drink, tell us a little bit more about the BIC, and clean the unit at the same time while you're at it.
And clean at the same time?
Yeah. Guys, the average part-timer now is about 17 years old. And when I think of teenagers, what do? I roll my eyes. I mean, I have a 15-year-old daughter at home. But you know what? They're actually very adept to multitasking, right? So they could probably drop fries, flip burgers, take orders on the drive-thru, and text their girlfriends all at the same time.
Yeah. Sure, right? Chef, but can they make a fresh pasta or even a perfect souffle?
No, they can't. And you know what they aren't? They aren't thirsty.
Oh.
Sherry.
So, Christy?
Christy. Sherry, Christy. Martha.
That's right. So for our first drink, we're going to taste the chocolate hazelnut coffee frappe. Fits perfect into that breakfast beverage trend that we were talking about earlier. and it was as easy as walking through our interactive touchscreen. It'll literally walk myself or my staff through the beverage making process, and in less than 40 seconds, we'll have a perfectly consistently blended beverage, whether it's through the single or dual dispensers each and every single time.
That's right. So that's streamlining production, and production is profit. You know, if I think about it, Ryan makes about $400 an hour. You know, and as a restaurateur, you know, that's really not a very good use of my labor cost, or it really digs into my profits. But what makes me cringe is the fact that he probably has to clean this thing in between each and every glass, right?
So, as usual, Hans, you're wrong. Yeah. I actually make $500 an hour.
Oh, nice.
But you're right. Labor cost is one of the biggest expenses for a growing business. So what we've done on the blended and cup workstation is added in an auto rinse feature. And this helps us for two different reasons. In between each drink we make, whether it's a coffee, a yogurt, an iced tea, or a lemonade, it's going to rinse off whatever flavors were left behind, creating a consistent beverage each and every single time. And to your point, it's also going to cut down on the labor costs because we don't have to stop what we're doing, walk back over, rinse the machine. It's actually going to take care of that itself.
That's not bad, eh? You know what it tastes like?
What does it taste like, Chef?
It tastes like money.
It does taste like money.
Actually, it tastes like more. And so because of that, I'm going to ask Ryan to make two drinks at the same time, but they're going to be completely different flavors. And while he's doing that, Ryan's going to explain a little bit about how we come up with the concoctions that we have here today and where we store the flavor bases.
Sure.
So Ryan, please.
Well, while I'll start things off here, the Multiplex BIC Workstation has an integrated refrigeration area, and I'm going to touch on that in just a second while we make these drinks. But during the little time here, I'd also like to point out one of our Delfield upright refrigeration reach-in units and a number of the wonderful features on this particular unit. Perhaps most notably is the top-mounted refrigeration system. This means that all the major components are above the unit, meaning you have more free space in your storage cavity for your ingredients. Secondly, the top-mounted system means that any heat radiated from the unit radiates up and away from the refrigeration area because the heat rises, right? Another nice feature about this is the glass door, which can be used in a particular situation like this. It's wonderful because it allows your customers to see all the beautiful items that are inside, maybe even tantalize some folks in the audience with some of the beautiful things inside. It also offers a nice small footprint, which means you can slide it in next to your beverage equipment, and you have plenty of space then for your full beverage operation. Now, as we continue on our second drink here, I did want to get back to the BIC. As you can see, it has room for 8 different flavor bases, and I'll just pull one of these bases out right here. The flavor bases are pre-bagged, and it makes things extremely convenient for you and your staff. You'll notice here, here's the nozzle. Thanks to the bases, you don't have to worry about any pre-mixing. Your flavors are always consistent. No staff training is required. And you saw right there how easy it is to install. You just slide the bag in. That red port connects to the back of the unit. Pipes then feed the flavors straight to your blender. So you're not having to mix beverages in a measuring cup, putting it into a blender, leaving ingredients behind. Everything is fed straight to the blender. Let me just give you a real-world example on how this could be beneficial to you and your business. I was out at a smoothie store out in LA a few weeks ago and ordered a smoothie. They had a traditional setup with a blender. The drink tasted great. However, I noticed after they manufactured the beverage, there was a little bit of drink left back in the cup. You know, some of the things stuck to the edges. And I started doing some math on that. And I thought, you know, if that happens 5 or 6 times, you pretty much have a 16-ounce drink that you're throwing away. And then you multiply that times the thousands of drinks you make, tens of thousands, maybe more over the course of the year. And you can see how that adds up. I mean, you are literally pouring money down the drain. Also, she had to stop and rinse out the container before making the next drink, which slows down customer service and prevents you from helping your customers as much as you'd like. So again, had she been using the BIC, she would have been able to get around all of these issues. And Chef Hans, this is why your drink tastes like money. because you're able to use every single ounce of flavor and sell every ounce of that cup.
That's right, Dennis. So as you can see, we haven't wasted 1 ounce, taking advantage of the whole cup. So what we're tasting are 2 different drinks that fit into 2 different segments. We're going to taste a Virgin Manhattan. So pretend we're out to dinner, nice cocktail bar, pretend there's bourbon in there. It's nearly happy hour. And this would fit perfectly for a blended adult beverage. We're also going to taste a pomegranate iced tea, which fits nicely into the iced tea market, as well as the healthy, what's good for me drinks as well, using the pomegranate, which has some antioxidants. So this round's on me. Please enjoy.
So and just before you guys get all your drinks, I'm going to touch on that onerous and tedious task of maintenance and cleaning. Tediousness and time have always stood in the way of proper maintenance of any piece of equipment. Whether it's your car, air conditioner, or even your furnace, if you don't maintain it, it doesn't work, and it eats into your profitability. The developers at Multiplex have worked very, very hard to make it as easy as possible to keep it clean. 3 easy, removable parts and a drip tray down below can be wiped down at the end of the day or just sent over to the dish pit. But it also has what it's called the clean in place feature, which means you can take the hoses from the back once a week, put them in a bucket, which we provide, sanitation solution, and it runs through a cleaning cycle. It actually sanitizes fully. The entire process is viewed up on the screen, and it runs for about 30 minutes. So you've tasted most of our drinks, and you've heard our little bit of spiel here, and I'm sure you're wondering, how can those guys absolutely top what I've already seen today? Well, how can we top it, Ryan?
Well, Hans, it's not exactly about topping what we've already seen. These are all great pieces of equipment, but it's about finding the solutions for each one of our customers and whatever their needs may be. So I'll ask Dennis to go ahead and walk us through another wonderful piece of equipment from our Manitowoc Foodservice portfolio.
Oh, sure, it'd be my pleasure. The next unit we'd like to introduce to you is our Flavor Pick multi-flavor ice and beverage dispenser. And this is the important part, with selectable ice made by Servend. Now, this unit is designed to produce more than 1 million different combinations of flavors. I always have to channel Dr. Evil here, okay? Over 1 million different combinations of flavors. And we're talking more like 3 million different combinations of flavors, which makes the unit perfect for just about any operation, whether you're a truck stop in the Midwest, a university cafeteria in Australia, or perhaps even a convenience store in Brazil. And Mini Moi, he's Canadian, I have to translate. You have a question, it appears.
I do, eh?
Yeah.
Actually, I am, and I do have a question, and I'm sure you have a question too. How can he possibly have over 3 million combinations out of one piece of equipment?
Well, actually, that's pretty easy to answer. If you take a look at the unit, we have a choice of up to 16 different main flavors represented by these larger buttons. These can be either carbonated or non-carbonated flavors. Then you can add on top of that up to 8 different shots of various flavors. And then you have your choice of crushed ice or cubed ice. So let's say Chef Ryan creates a great tasting drink for us with 3 presses of the button, but I maybe would like some little vitamin in there, so I go for a B12 shot. And then perhaps, Hans, you prefer it with crushed ice over cubed ice. So when you start doing the mathematical formula, I think we're looking about a 30 factorial, which is 30 times 29.
For crying out
times
loud,
20,
blah, 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 blah.
Hey, you asked.
You know what?
You asked.
They get it. They
Okay.
get it. They get it. But what they haven't got is their first drink from the Flavor Pick. Ryan, what melange of flavors have you picked from that piece of equipment for them today?
What we've picked here is a cherry minted lemonade. Fits fantastically into any kid's beverage menu and any C-store or quick service restaurant. It's got a lemonade-based syrup, flavor shot of mint and cherry, and I've picked cubed ice over crushed ice because that's what I like and that's how I roll.
Oh, man, oh, man. But what a perfect segue into the final feature of the Flavor Pick. The Flavor Pick actually has an onboard ice machine, okay? So there's no need for a secondary piece of equipment on the floor taking up space, needing to be cleaned and maintained. It is all in one in a small footprint, but it doesn't just stop there. It actually is the industry's first and only dual dispensing ice machine. So what it has is it has cubed and crushed. So it doesn't matter how Ryan rolls, he can actually have whatever he'd like. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask Christy what her favorite drink is, and then let's have Ryan make it. And no more Jaeger bombs. No, for crying out loud.
Rum and Cokes, vodka Red Bulls. It's been these requests all day.
Yeah.
So what we're actually going to have for you is a raspberry fruit punch, and I'll even throw the straw in too.
Whoa, whoa. No straws, boys. Food costs. We have to watch every penny here.
This guy, always watching our pennies, right?
Well,
I mean,
you have to. And these days, more than ever, it's critically important. And that's actually a perfect segue to our final star of the day. And sorry, Chef Hans. You've been great, but no, not you either, Ryan. It's actually our new Indigo Ice Machine by Manitowoc Ice. And it's been our privilege at this show to unveil this new line of equipment, so I'd like to just tell you about some of the key features of this unit. Since its inception in 1964, Manitowoc Ice has built its industry-leading reputation on delivering reliable and innovative ice solutions to the food service industry. So it truly is our pleasure to unveil and introduce this new system for you today. Just a few notable innovations on this unit. It has a number of advanced technologies, including intelligent diagnostics, which allow the unit to monitor ice production and document it 24 hours a day. It also includes, as you can see, an easy-to-read screen, which improves communications with your staff. It also offers our Luminice growth inhibitor system. This uses ultraviolet light to kill organic compounds like bacteria and yeast, so you're ensuring that you're serving your customers the freshest, cleanest ice possible. And now this is where the penny pitching part comes in. Okay. You also have the opportunity to manage your energy consumption and your water consumption by adjusting your unit and programming it to produce ice for those times that you need it, and then to reduce or even eliminate production for those times that you don't need ice.
That was truly amazing. And that deserves a drink.
Well, thank you.
No, absolutely not.
Every single time.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Chef Dennis, Chef Hans, our assistant Christy, myself, and everyone here at Manitowoc Foodservice, we'd like to thank you for sharing your valuable time with us today. It's been our pleasure to present these stars from our Manitowoc Foodservice portfolio. We'd also like to take a moment to thank our food suppliers, Monin Syrups, Riches, CanPack, and Nestle Professional Vitality. They're the ones who provided all the base flavors and syrups for the drinks that we've been tasting today. So if you have any questions going forward for any of us or our staff on the floor, please feel free to grab us. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, feel free to grab them. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.